Fox News Foreign Affairs correspondent Benjamin Hall is also here in Singapore. Benjamin, what's the feeling on the island? What are you picking up as you head around here in Singapore?
Ed, I'm sure you felt this as well, but walking around the streets, there's a real sense, it's a word we're using often, but it's a sense that something historic is going to take place on Tuesday. And the people of Singapore very proud that it's going to be taking place here. As we've said, this is the first meeting between a sitting US president and the leader of North Korea. And if it is successful, this could mean the end to the major foreign policy threat currently being faced by the US and its allies. Kim's arsenal, as well as his ballistic missiles, if it is success. But of course, there's a long way to go. And many people feel that this is just the first step in many subsequent steps. Well, President Trump touched down in Singapore yesterday, saying that he is feeling good about the prospect of his meeting with Kim Jong-un. And their first meeting will be a one-on-one, alone, just the two of them, except for their translators. But President Trump also acknowledging that he was heading into the unknown.
It's unknown territory in the truest sense. But I really feel confident. I feel that Kim Jong-un wants to do something great for his people. And he has that opportunity, and he won't have that opportunity again. It's never going to be there again.
Kim Jong-un arrived earlier in the day aboard an Air China plane, courtesy of North Korea's closest ally, China. Kim later met with the Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, whose country has picked up the $15 million tab for the cash-strapped nation. And President Trump will be meeting with Loong later today. And of course, as we've been saying, the real aim of these talks is denuclearization. Verifiable, irreversible, complete denuclearization. And President Trump saying that if progress isn't made on that front and others, he is willing to walk away. Ed?
Yeah, and Benjamin, you know, we've been talking all hour about skepticism. Can this really happen? As you were talking, there was video a moment ago of Kim Jong-un's bulletproof Mercedes-Benz with these North Korean Secret Service officials who basically were struggling to run around the vehicle because they're not used to this. He's never taken a foreign trip as long as we're showing this video again. They're sort of almost jogging in place. Is this how we do it? Much different than the U.S. Secret Service, which travels all around the world with the U.S. president all of the time. Can this really happen? Can this deal come together?
You know, as you say, we've been talking about this for a while. You know, some people say that Kim Jong-un is young. He's in his mid-30s. He knows that he has decades ahead of him if he wants to stay in power, and that it's going to be very hard for him to stay on the same path for decades. To stay there, for his regime to survive, he needs to change. He needs to move forward. At the same time, people saying China is never going to let that happen, that they are not sure about it. But again, remember, we heard Secretary Pompeo saying in meetings, he's met Kim Jong-un twice now, and he said that Kim Jong-un had given him personal suggestions, personal mentions that he may be willing to denuclearize. And Secretary Pompeo also saying that he wants to see something signed in this meeting. But more and more we are hearing the fact that this might not just be one summit, it might run into 2, 3 more, and this might be the beginning of something larger. And we've also seen the US President Donald Trump reining in expectations. I suppose possible initial outcomes are said to be more initial information on the North's nuclear arsenal, perhaps an end to the 68-year Korean War. And North Korea are saying what it wants from this are security guarantees, perhaps involving the US altering military drills with South Korea. But very importantly, Defense Secretary Mattis has made it clear that US military personnel levels in South Korea will not be part of these discussions. And, you know, you can't ignore the fact that President Trump's tough talking is what's got him here. And there have been successes for the president. Remember the release of those 3 US hostages, to name one. But from here on out, it's going to be hard. And even President Trump himself has said that he expects this summit could easily go off script at some point. And also, you can't forget the amazing transformation we have seen by Kim Jong-un himself. Just last year, he was seen as a despot who had murdered his own uncle, his own brother. He has gulags where hundreds of thousands of people are held in camps. There are public executions. And seemingly, over the space of a few months, he has become this world leader, meeting with President Trump here. And that's given him a lot of kudos. So it'll be interesting to see if President Trump raises that issue with him, or whether he sticks to the main goal, denuclearization, or if he tries to talk about changing the regime in some ways as well. And we'll find out in just about 24 hours from now. Ed?
Well, we certainly will. Maybe the most important phrase used in there was off script. That's something we've seen many times from this president. It may actually help him in these negotiations. Benjamin Hall, appreciate your reporting today as well.